Is there anything left to say about the Lib Tech Orca? It's got to be one of the most talked about snowboards of the last few seasons, but is it worth the hype? Now, Travis Rice could probably put his name to just about any product, and around 80% of the snowboard community would still consider buying it. And the Orca has been the self-proclaimed apex predator that has flown off the shop shelves well before Christmas in the past few seasons. But there's more to it than the signature of its namesake on the top sheet. This is one of those snowboards that was designed for powder riding, but very, very quickly found its place as a daily driver for a huge number of snowboarders out there. So first off, what is it that makes the Orca such a good powder snowboard? Well, less than any individual component taking full responsibility, it's more to do with the sum of all of its parts. That being said, a huge factor is down to its volume shifted directional outline. The Orca should be ridden around 3 to 6 centimeters shorter than a conventional freeride deck, which is why the size ranges go from a 144 up to a 159. By pulling the volume in from its length and out in the waist width, the board still has a lot of surface area to float in the deepest conditions, but with the added bonus of being a lot more maneuverable and agile. So if you do take it into tight tree lines or even want to do a bit of freestyle riding in the backcountry, this is definitely a good tool for the job. The Sidecut is also pretty deep on this one, with a 7-meter radius across all the size models. That means it's not going to be ideal for those long drawn out carves, but because of that pulled out waist width, it is going to be really, really good for getting your lean on and avoiding any boot drag. It's also got Lib Tech's C2X camber, and this is their award-winning profile, which is also one of the most versatile in their line. To lay it flat, the board almost looks like a full tip-to-tail rocker, and that's because of this large central rocker section that pushes the board out towards the tip and tail. Having said that, there are still two pretty strong and powerful camber sections directly underneath the inserts, so that's where you get the versatility from. On the one hand, you've got a board that pushes up at the ends of the board and keeps you afloat in powder, but on the other hand, once you put that onto an edge in hardpack, you've got these really powerful camber sections right underfoot. There's 7 disruptions along the Sidecut, and these act as extra contact points to find increased grip through the turn. Now, for me personally, I've never been a huge fan of Magne Traction. I've often found it just to be a little bit twitchy through the arc of a turn compared to a more conventional Sidecut. However, when you factor in all the powder specific features on this board, so the camber profile, the extra wide waist width, or the shorter running length, having those disruptions along the Sidecut go a really, really long way in making this board as versatile as it is. Without it, the board would simply just feel less stable and nowhere near as grippy on the edge. Now, no matter how sustainable a snowboard brand claims to be, producing one of these things always takes more from nature than it gives back. Even with a brand as sustainable as Mervin or Lib Tech, who have arguably one of the most green production facilities in the industry, there is no denying it takes a lot of resource to produce one of these things. But there is another upshot to buying the Orca. So for this year, Travis and Lib Tech have partnered with Orca Conservancy, and a proceed of all the sales from this snowboard will go back into that organization, which helps to fight the depleting number of killer whales in the oceans. It's maybe not a deal breaker when it comes to buying your next snowboard, but it is nice to know that this one is putting something back into the planet as well as taking something from it. For me, I love riding volume shifted snowboards. I feel that what they offer in the powder will always outweigh any drawbacks you may experience over the rest of the mountain with them. And this is without a doubt one of the most popular. For sure, the Orca is definitely facing some more stiff competition from a few other brands this year, not least of all from Salomon with the Dancehall, or Rome with the Stalefish, and of course Ride with the Warpig. But its popularity speaks for itself. This board really is an institution unto itself, and for anyone looking for a volume shifted, all mountain freeride snowboard, you don't really have to look much further than here.